Hello everyone, this is Paul Volker and I'm going to show you how to print your assessment out of eDoctrina. So the first thing we want to do is go to eDoctrina.org, which I've done up here, and we're going to click on the login button. And what you need to do is first ensure that you are at the correct district. I'm going to use a fake account for this. My super user training district is the district I'm in, and my school, you'll see I got a bunch of them in here. Just make sure with yours you have the district and then you narrow it down to school if you're going to be pulling an assessment. And then you want your login. Now your login is probably the first letter of your first name and your whole last name. No email addresses for this, but your login should be given to you by your district. For this one, mine login is Popeye, and then I'll put in my password. Your password could have been created by your district or given to you, or possibly they had you recreate it. So once I'm set, I'll click login. Yours might look different. Yours might be black and yellow. Mine's going to be blue because it is a fake account. The first thing that we want to look at is what's in front of you. You have assessments right here. This is the main link that I want to go to when I'm going to pull an assessment and print it. But just in case, if for say we were on a different page, like accidentally came to this one, you still have access to all of those links that you just saw up here with your running report. So I could go here to set up assessments. Okay? And it's going to take me to the same page I need, which is right here. But again, right off the start when you sign in, the assessments link is probably the best, but you do have access to it right here with setup assessments. So here we have a couple different things. If I want to see, I'll reset the filters just so you can see it from fresh. But I could hide all these filters. I could show more on here on some of them, but the big part is the test bank. Where is this test being stored? So I'm going to pull a module assessment. If you've created your own assessment just for your district to use, like inside, so your grade level team or you yourself did it, you're going to pick your district's test bank. For instance, if you created this for your classroom and you work at Whitney Point, then you will look for Whitney Point here. If you created it for Johnson City, you'll look for Johnson City here. So it's going to be your school name. If you are looking for one of our created ones through our collaborative districts, you're going to look for CV, DEP, HARP, WP, which is the CV Deposit Harpersville Whitney Point's test bank. Those are where our collaborative assessments are. If you're looking for the New York State BOCES benchmark assessments, then you are going to be looking for the test bank New York State BOCES benchmark assessments. So for this, I'll click on Engage New York Content. That's going to be where the test bank is that I'm looking for. The course is not a huge thing. The subject, it's always good to try to narrow it down. I'll look for math. The school year is also a big one. It should be this school year, 15-16, or whatever school year you're in. But you need to be sure that you're looking in your current school year, because if you don't, you could be pulling the wrong version of the assessment. The grade always helps as well. I'll look for a third grade one, and you'll see it's already filtering by grade. And now I can come down here and look and see that I have a bunch of assessments I could pull. I got mid and ends. So if I want to pull as is and print this assessment right here, I see that's my assessment number. I click on this print button. And what this lets me do is I want to make sure is print in different size font. So I'm going to do it at 14. 14 is a nice size. 12 is probably the smallest I would go. Definitely want this as a PDF. And columns, I want it at 1. If I put 2, questions are going to get pushed together. I also want to keep it at portrait. If I go landscape, it's going to look kind of off and long. You can pick different fonts as well. I generally stay with as designed, because if you change the font, you could technically change the look of the assessment, not just with a different kind of font, but also the editing of the format for it. And I also keep multiple choice the same. Now up here I have choices. I can print the assessment questions only, which is what the students will see. I could also have attached to that the answer key, standards list, teacher instructions are good, or the assessment grades. So I'm just going to do the questions for right now. And I click print. And it's going to come up in a different window. And you'll see the test right here off to the left. Now, down at the bottom, I could click the Save button, or I could click this Print. This print will allow me to print it, send it to a printer in district, or, and let me pull it up again just to show you. Or what I can do is I can click this Save button right here and then save it to my desktop so I can print it off later on. Or so I can send it out to the web CRD for copies. So that's how to get the assessment. Now, when I go in, if I decide I just want an answer key for myself, just one of them, I click on just the answer key. Maybe I want the teacher instructions as well. So I click Print. And here comes my answer key. So question 1 is worth 4 points in this. And it's also going to have the rubrics attached to it. And most of these assessments are going to have the standard inside of here as well if they're tagged to Common Core standards. So this is my set, and here's my answer keys coming down through. And these are inside the scoring guide and teacher instructions. So any other special instructions are going to be put in here as well. Just a nice little tool to have to print separate from your assessment, so you can send out your assessments and then have this for the teacher piece of it. The last set here, I'll go through some of these buttons on the left. This button allows you to copy this into your test bank. So if you're pulling an assessment from a different test bank, I don't recommend doing this for our collaborative ones or the BOCES benchmarks, because then we get extra versions out there. This one is to view online, so you can just look at the questions instead of printing. This is, like we said, the print or the save option. And then the other ones we don't really do unless you're into assessing online, in which case there'll be a different video out for that. Now, if you're looking for the rubrics for it, rubrics are going to be right here. They'll be in blue as a link. And if I click on that, the rubric gets downloaded right here. And I'm going to pull that up just to show you. And it looks like this is the end of module assessment. And this is where rubrics would normally be tagged. And this is going to be the terms of use by NICET. So these are any attachments that are going to be there. Rubrics generally. Also could be the actual online assessment, the link to it, and then any terms that have to do with this. So normally you'll see rubrics here for this. But that's how to pull an assessment from eDoctrina.